Huzzah! We hit 100 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you, family. Thank you, uh, anybody else who passed by or hit that subscribe button. You're to blame for this. We hit 100. So onward and upward to 1,000 subscribers, 10 times as many. We'll get there. Someday. Looks innocent. Uh, so what now? What are we going to talk about for the rest of the video? I think there's only one thing to do. Self-promote. We're gonna do some self-promotion here. We're gonna be going over my Patreon. I've added a few new things, and we're gonna be going over the book club that's upcoming very soon. We just finished the book club list, so we'll be going over some of that today. And our upcoming podcast. That'll be exciting. So let's jump on down or read our way on down to the screen share. And we're sharing, and we're sharing. And hopefully it's on your screen by now. Hope it is. So yeah, under $5, $4.87 does come with a 7-day free trial. If you'd like to try it out first, you automatically get invited to the Discord group, which will give you access to the upcoming book club, which will have its own little standalone meeting where we meet up once a week to discuss what we've read from, well, up until that meeting point. When we start doing the podcast, you'll get full access to all the podcast episodes. So what will be coming to YouTube is most of the podcasts, but all of the podcast and some really cool music that I would get copyright hit with on YouTube will be on the Patreon only version. Um, the 1487 one is like everything that the previous tier got is called the Adventure Book Shepherd. And you'll also be getting another separate meeting. Currently, we meet up on Sundays at 4:30 Eastern Time. And this will have an extended reading separate book club from the beginner tier of the 487. And that's going to be to read longer stretches of work that may have multiple books, spin-off series, and other things of that nature. Or, I don't know, your 1,000, 2,000 page books. So that'll be a lot of fun to get into. And you also get access to the Zoom recording archives for all calls. So all calls will be recorded, but if you want to catch the recording, it'll have to be with the Adventurer tier. I may change my mind on that. I think I'm going to add the book club, the starter tier Shepherdling club calls to the Shepherdling tier itself, but the Adventure Book Club calls and anything others related to that tier will be with the Adventurer tier. I do have other tiers, but that's just for meeting up with me one-on-one to discuss something in depth, usually business related or book collection related. We have a few members there already. And then if you need to meet twice a month, we have no one there. It could be you, but you're not obligated. So if you just want to join a general book club, the Shepherdling tier would be ideal and get access to the full-length podcast. If you want to read longer stretches of work in addition or separate from the Shepherdling book tier, the Adventure Book Shepherd tier is the tier for you. So let's jump into the Shepherdling book club project we got going on. So every book club will need a set of goals, but first they need a name. I've selected the Unbound. So the Unbound book club book goals. I'll do some language changes here, obviously. Still working on it, guys. Still working on it. But basically, goal number one here. This is the reading list for the book club. I know no list is ever perfect, but I've done my best to put together a great one. Let's dive in and see what wonderful stories we discover together. I have a feeling we're in for some most excellent reads. And yeah, reading myself is fun. Um, so goal number two, life gets busy, and we completely understand that you might not finish every book. That's why we have a no guilt policy. We warmly invite you to join us for our meetings, even if you've only read a few chapters or haven't opened the book yet. Your presence is what matters most, and we want everyone to feel connected to the discussion and the group. Number three, we're here to help you fall in love with reading again or for the very first time. So yeah, if you've been a reader in the past and life got busy or you're pursuing career and you got no time, um, I've come to the conclusion that you just got to make the time, and maybe a book club can force you to make the time versus you trying to do it on your own. Same for if you're always like the idea of reading, but never really developed a habit for it. This club offers the gentle push and friendly community you need to build a consistent reading habit and explore new literary worlds. This book club may cause you to develop a new literary obsession. Yay! We're dedicated to exploring books that challenge uh, our usual taste, and thanks to our list of book picks, we're guaranteed you'll find a new favorite you didn't see coming. If you want to read more this year, we're the book club for you. Our goal is to collectively reach over 4,000 pages, but our real purpose is to help everyone develop a consistent, rewarding reading habit. So we want you to develop a reading habit, and we also want the stuff you read to pay off, have a good experience with it. And we're here to make that happen. And yeah, our club is really to aim for everyone to help build a consistent reading habit. We're going to do that by trying to read just 11 pages a day. We can all make rereading a part of our daily routine. Every page counts, every member is an inspiration. Once a week, we'll meet for an in depth, well rounded discussion. We'll explore the best parts of the book, thoughtfully critique the weaker elements, and have an open conversation about its more difficult or complex aspects. We'll chat about the book and share our real thoughts, the parts that moved us, the parts that drove us crazy, and even the parts that were just plain weird. So, yeah, I mean, it's more like the book sucked or the book was great. We need reasons. What are the reasons? Um, and this month and next month, we'll be voting on the day and time for the book club as it doesn't start till January, but we're allowing everyone to go over the list, which we'll get to in a moment. That's very, very lengthy to pick out what they want the club to read. Um, this book club is a collective journey to explore new ideas and perspectives. We encourage you to share your unique take on our reads, keeping in mind that our goal is to understand one another, not to win an argument. When you'd like to contribute, simply click the raise hand icon on Zoom. I mean, we are using Zoom for our meetings, and we ask that you listen attentively and allow each person to complete their thoughts before offering a follow up. So, yeah, I mean, I've been in book clubs before where people just interrupt one another and it turns into more of a debate versus a discussion. Um, and sometimes a more mm, non-talkative person will just shut down, and they had something really important to say, but they never got a chance to finish it. So a little bit of common courtesy in that regard. Um, yeah. So to get the most out of our discussion, we're gonna move beyond simple "I liked it" or "didn't like" comments, or "it sucked" or "it was great." And we encourage you to dig deeper. Instead of yes or no answers, try to share how the book made you feel, what central themes resonated with you, or how the narrative relates to your own life experiences. The why and the because are the best parts of our conversation. I mean, that's very true, or else we'd be done in 5 minutes. We, as a book club, embark on a mission to rate the literary works we encounter, illuminating the path for future readers. Our reviews will guide you toward masterpieces that enchant and captivate, or perhaps steer you away from those that demand a truly terrible price, a price not easily forgotten. So yeah, like it or not, ratings do impact the readership of that particular book. So we're going to rate it in-house, but I'm also going to try to encourage people to rate the book on the big three platforms of Goodreads, Storygraph, and Library Thing. Those are probably the three biggest ones readers use. So I would like our book club to get so large that when we rate a book, it literally changes the score, like for a full star. That's kind of my big goal because then we got power, real power. And with great power, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, um, and I do have a little blurb here if you're new to reading or been out of reading for a while for reading habit suggestions. Getting ahead and staying ahead. I mean, I'll be announcing the first couple of books in December. I've already announced one of them inside the Patreon book club group. So if you're a slower reader, I encourage you to go ahead and get started with the first selection. And yes, you'll be ahead, but it's to help you stay on track in case life throws you a curveball or you fall off track and you're trying to develop the habit of reading as you become a more consistent reader. you will likely find yourself exceeding the daily 11-page goal without even trying. Yeah, I mean, habits, the more you do, the more addicting they are, and the more routine they become. But back to the slower reader thing, if you fall off track and you're ahead, you're still ahead, and you have a chance to get back on versus giving up because everybody passed you up. So I do encourage reading ahead. Um, Schedule a dedicated time slot. Integrate reading into your daily routine by anchoring it to an existing habit. For example, read for 30 minutes with morning coffee or your lunch break, or for 30 minutes before bed. And if you need to slice it up, slice it up. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, and 10 minutes at bed. 11 pages will fly by, I promise you. You just gotta, again, get in the swing of things. Um, Having a designated reading space, create a comfortable, distraction-free environment just for reading. Having a reading nook makes the activity feel like a relaxing treat rather than a chore. Yeah, so distraction-free zone, away from the TV, maybe after the kids go to bed if you got kids, in your car if you need to just go, or maybe outside a treehouse you built. If you're reading in a treehouse, much respect. Anyway, um, yeah, replace screen time with reading. If you're watching too much television, like 6 to 7 hours worth, maybe cut that back a bit. Um, or scrolling on social media, or pull out your e-reader or a physical book. The simple swap can unlock many new reading sessions throughout the day and helps bulletproof your attention span. And lastly, bring your own snacks. Let's see here. We do have some criterion. I did pull the books from thegreatestbooks.org, and then they went in this lovely sheet here. And that is a lot of things. Anyway, um, then we sort them. And how I've sorted them pretty much is the list we're stopping at least needs full 2 generations worth to move on to the list that we'll be selecting from. And a generation I've decided represents 15 years. So 2 generations will be 30 years. So at the start of this project, since we're starting in January of 2026, a book must be from 1996 or earlier. And then after 2026 is over with, it'll be 1997 and older, so, and etc., so forth and so on. Um, a few items on the list, such as dictionaries, encyclopedias, religion/theology, mainly like the Bible, the Quran, and any kind of associated work. I've just kind of gone ahead and removed those as well for obvious reasons. We're not reading the dictionary, and to avoid conflict, the religious stuff kind of had to go over there. Not that can't read it on your own time, but it kind of will deviate us from our goal of reading and avoid arguments probably that might ensue. Anyway, carrying on. The book must have an English translation, as most people will be English only readers. If the book does not have an English translation, it will be moved to a different section to be referred later. These books will be rechecked in October for the start of the next year to see if they could move on the master list if an English translation has become available. Uh, so yeah, if there isn't an English version, or if the book is priced itself out of general affordability, it'll just have to wait. Or if it's out of print, we're just gonna have to wait on that book, unfortunately. Where to purchase the books? Discourage Amazon, but we could save that for a last resort. Bookstore.org is pretty good. The best, in my opinion, is the publisher or author's website or the secondary resale market, which does include bookstores. Must have copies to support the book club membership. That's another point that I made earlier. If there just aren't copies, we'll have to wait on it. And go into the reprint pile, waiting for reprint. The reading order once the filtering is done. The first book the book club will read it for the year will be my selection from the 2026 list. The book selections for the rest of the year will be rotated by seniority of Patreon membership, meaning the first member that joined the Patreon, they'll be up after me, which in this case would be Troy. Hi, Troy. And their selection must come from the master list. A book club member may opt to pass their selection Then we'll go on to the next book club member based off seniority. So the next oldest member that's been in the group. A Patreon book club member may opt to use random.org for the master list if they want fate to decide a reading selection. And you're a bad human being if you'll do this, but I'm a big fan of randomness, so I'll allow it. But anyway, once we head, oh, I'm sorry. To ensure fair and active participation, we want to clarify a rule for book selection. In order for your book suggestion to be chosen, you must be present at the meeting where it is being discussed. This policy helps guarantee that everyone reading the book has an invested advocate in the conversation. This guideline is designed to help our discussions be dynamic and prevent situation where a member who ultimately doesn't attend chooses a book that the others are then obligated to read. So, yeah, we don't want somebody to come in and be like, yo, Infinite Jest, it's my turn. We're doing it. And then they just don't show up. And we have to endure Infinite Jest. Not that there isn't anything wrong with that book, but it's very, very dense. And it's a hard read and a very interesting read at that. It's also over 1,000 pages. 1,000 page dense book will take us a while to get through. Um, And once we head into our quarter four of the year, we'll then decide which member will be the last book of the year based off the page count of the book. And once the book is completed, we'll start back over in the new year reading cycle with my choice because I'm selfish. And we're like, yo, my turn again. Haha, my group. I can do what I want. And then we'll pick back up where we left off in the rotation of the Patreon book club member selection. Also, if we reach the end of the member list, we'll just start back over with me, even if it's before the new year, and work our way down from oldest to newest member. When will you add more books? Recheck books that might be meeting the criterion. October. So every October, I'll re-download the list from thegreatestbooks.org, resort it, take out what we need, remove books that the book clubs has already read, and keep it on a little sheet for past reads just for reference sake. So let's take a look at the list. The exciting part, right? It's always the list. So I sorted it by earliest work to oldest work. So we're going to start with 96 here. And look at there, right at the top is the book I was referencing, Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Again, nothing wrong with this book, but it's 1,000 pages, over 500,000 words, and dense. Probably need some reading guides to help you read the book, as yeah. But yeah, let's go over the tabs here. We got title, we got authors, we got publisher date, we got the country or language, or what you call the person, I guess. The original language it was written in. So yeah, just because you're in Australia doesn't mean you don't write a book in Spanish. So that's why they're separated here. The page range, as we can see, some of these have a range based off edition and font size, which changes it, and book format also changes that page range. Word count, and then we got the genres. Um, Pretty typical, but also additionally we have the subjects. So it's going to cover things like entertainment, addiction, identity, psychology, mental health, technology, competition, consumerism, depression, isolation. Those are big topics. And again, Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Thank you, sir. Fiction categories, like if it takes place in the real world or a fictional location, or maybe a real world location like Russia or I don't know, Canada. Thanks, Gillick. Or Chile, Spain area. Then I have over here member selected. How many books are on the book list? A lot. A lot, a lot. We'll see as we're scrolling. I'll stop every now and then because I know people want to pause the screen. What's that? What's that? And we're scrolling. We're still in 90. Oh, nope, 95 now. Oh, man. Okay, I'll save us some time. We're just gonna use the side scroll bar. And I know I'm in the way, but there's 13,004. And if we take out the headers at the top, that means 13,103 books. There is something on this list for everyone. There's even some kids' books. There's some books written from all over the world, all nonfiction, fiction, poetry, historical. I think there may even be a book about birds. But this list itself is the best of the best according to someone or a group of someone's, and that's been taken all of those lists everywhere and combined into one list. So you got I don't know, the New York Times best list and Pulitzer Prize list and Goodreads Choice Awards list merged into one master list. So someone thought this book was important some way, somehow. Doesn't mean every book on here is going to be fantastic, but it at least has been read and praised about by someone or a group of someones, which gives a little bit more validity. Now, I did try to, when I started this project, try to like get some kind of semblance by the populace vote, general readers, and I tried doing a scoring of Goodreads, Storygraph, and library thing, and with a weighted score of four or more, that was going to be the list. That took an exorbitant amount of time. I even tried automating it, but Goodreads and I think library thing had some measures where anti-scraping, which made it pretty much impossible. So the only way to do it is by manual, and doing it 13,000 times. I think I got up to 1,200 before I said, you know what, this is taking way too long. Um, though I may pay a VA in the future to do that, but for now, we're just going to use the best of list, which is a collection of best of list. So again, this gives us a wide range of things to select from. And I guess Snapple Cat fact. Oldest book goes as far as minus 2,400. Cool. And we got, I think Aesop's Fables was down here somewhere. Anyway, there's the Iliad and all the Roman and Greek stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's just a really cool list. You can spend hours and hours and hours researching it. That's part of the fun. And then you get to pick one when it's your turn. So as long as it comes from this list, good to go. We'll read it. But again, you got to show up and you got to participate in order for it to be valid. Um, and I think doing it this way will give opportunity to explore things I might not have chosen to read, like a nonfiction book about poetry. I'm not the biggest nonfiction reader, let alone the biggest poetry reader. So reading something like that, I may change my mind and be like, I love poetry now. I'm now a poetry reader. Look at me. Or maybe I'll have the thought perspective of, you know what? I appreciate it for what it was. Still not a genre for me, but I could see why it'd be appealing for those that were. So I can't appreciate things without liking things, and I think other members will do the same. Um, or I just may change my mind, and I'll just be I don't know, a closet poetry reader, and not tell my fantasy friends that I'm reading poetry in the corner. I made that sound dirty. Anyway, going on. Yeah, it's a really cool list. I really like what I've done with it. And it's always room for improvement, of course. I saw a couple typos on the things we were reviewing earlier that I'll go back and fix. Same for the Patreon page. Again, work in progress. We're going to go ahead and end these. Well, let's scroll for a little bit more. Give some spoilers away. Okay, that's enough. We're going to stop share. And I just want to say thank you one more time. 100 subscribers, did a thing, check mark off the box. Next check box is 1,000. On the YouTube side, we have different check boxes inside Patreon. We're trying to get up to 30 so we can get ourselves a regular Zoom for the Shepherdling, which is the beginning book tier, to have its own ongoing Zoom call. So anybody can jump in, talk about books or whatever they want, be up for 24 hours a day. So that's our Patreon goal. And we have our YouTube 1,000 subscriber goal. It's a lot for me to keep track of. Yeah, I look forward to what we do with this thing, guys. And I think that's going to do it for today. So keep on booking on.